There is a valley on the outskirts of a small town that nobody talks about, not because they forgot about it, but because talking about it means remembering what happened there. The valley has been for sale for over 30 years. Dozens of buyers have come, looked at the price, looked at the land, and walked away without signing a single paper. No one ever explains why. They just leave and never come back to look again. In the middle of that valley sits a house, old, wooden, 2 stories, every window intact, every door still on its hinges. From the outside, it looks like any other abandoned house, a little worn down, a little forgotten, but otherwise normal. The kind of place you drive past and think someone should fix that up. But nobody ever does. Nobody ever will. The locals call it the Hollow, not because of any official name, but because everyone who has ever spent time near it says the same thing. It feels empty in a way that has nothing to do with furniture or people. It feels hollow at its core, like something sucked the life out of the walls themselves. Animals do not go near it. Birds do not fly over it. Even the wind seems to avoid it. On the stillest days everywhere else in town, the trees around the hollow do not move at all. Daniel first heard about the hollow on a Tuesday night. He was sitting alone in a bar nursing his 3rd drink and not really listening to anything around him. That had become his routine. Come in, sit down, drink until the noise in his head got quiet enough to sleep. He had been doing it for 8 months. Ever since his wife took their daughter and left. Ever since he lost his job 3 weeks after that. Ever since he stopped seeing a reason to get up before noon. He was not looking for a ghost story that night. He was not looking for anything. But the 2 men at the table beside him were talking loud enough that he could not ignore them. They were talking about a bet. $10,000 to anyone who could spend 7 nights alone inside the house in the hollow. Full 7 nights. No leaving. No contact after midnight. Just a man in that house and whatever was inside it. Daniel put down his drink and turned around. He needed that money. Not just for the practical reasons. He needed it because he needed to feel something again. He needed a reason. And if that reason came in the form of a haunted house in a valley nobody wanted, then so be it. He did not believe in ghosts. He barely believed in tomorrow. What did he have to lose? He signed the agreement the next morning, shook hands with the 2 men from the bar who turned out to be local businessmen who had been trying to sell the property for years. They looked at him, the way people look at someone they feel sorry for but will not say it out loud. He did not notice. Or maybe he did and did not care. He arrived at the hollow on a Friday evening with a bag, a camera, a flashlight, and enough food for 10 days. He wanted to be prepared. He was not prepared. Night 1 was quiet, almost peaceful. He set up his camera in the main room on the ground floor and walked through every room making notes. Nothing unusual. Old furniture covered in sheets, peeling wallpaper, dust on every surface thick enough to write in. He ate his dinner, wrote in a small journal he had brought, and fell asleep on the couch he had uncovered in the living room. He slept better than he had in months. He noted that in his journal with something that almost sounded like hope. Night 2, the doors started opening, not slamming, not banging, just slowly swinging open on their own, one by one. He checked the windows for drafts, all sealed. He checked the floors for uneven surfaces, all flat. He told himself old houses settle, old hinges loosen. He closed the doors and went back to sleep. In the morning, 3 of them were open again. He had not heard a single sound. Night 3, he heard breathing outside his bedroom window. Slow, steady, like someone standing just below the glass and breathing upward. He grabbed his flashlight and looked out. Nothing. Just the dark outline of the valley and the tree line beyond it. He stayed at the window for an hour. The breathing stopped after 20 minutes. He did not sleep the rest of that night. His journal entry for day 3 was only 2 words. It knows. Night 4, he stopped answering his phone. His sister had been calling every day to check on him. His daughter had sent 3 voice notes, He listened to them. He did not reply. Not because he was busy, but because somewhere between night 3 and night 4, something shifted in him. He started to feel like the calls were coming from very far away. Like voices from another world he was slowly losing his connection to. He sat in the main room and stared at the wall for 6 hours and did not notice the time passing. Night 5. His camera caught something. He had been reviewing the footage from the previous nights, and on night 4 footage, there was a figure, standing in the corner of the room behind him. Tall, still, no features visible, just a dark shape that was there in one frame and gone in the next. He went back through every night of footage. The figure was there in all of them, always behind him, always still, always watching. He called his daughter that evening. He told her she was the best thing that ever happened to him. She asked if he was okay. He said yes. He was not okay. Night 6, he called his daughter one more time. She picked up on the first ring. He said 3 words. "I'm sorry." She asked what he meant. The line went dead. She called back 47 times that night. No answer. Night 7. Nobody heard from Daniel again. The 2 businessmen went to the Hollow on the morning of day 8. The front door was open. His bag was still there. His food untouched from the last 3 days. His camera still recording. His journal open on the floor to the last entry. They could not read it at first. The handwriting had changed completely from day 1 to day 7. By the last entry, it barely looked human. They called the police. The police searched the house in the valley for 3 days. They found nothing. No Daniel. No signs of struggle. No explanation. The camera footage from night 7 was never released to the public. 2 officers who watched it both resigned from the force within a week. Neither of them has spoken about what they saw. The valley is still for sale. The house is still standing. And every night at 3 a.m., the light in the upstairs bedroom turns on and off, like someone is still in there, still trying to signal, still trying to reach the world they can no longer get back to. Nobody has gone to check. Nobody ever will. The Grand Velmont Hotel has been standing since 1923. 200 rooms, 12 floors. Every room has been occupied at least once in the past 100 years. Every room except room 307. No guest has ever checked into it. No cleaner has ever entered it. The key was lost in 1947 and nobody ever made another one. The staff have an unspoken rule. Never be alone on the 3rd floor after dark. Nobody made that rule officially. Nobody needed to. James Calloway was a travel writer who specialized in places people were afraid of. Abandoned towns, cursed roads, buildings with histories that made people change the subject. When he found a single forum post that said nothing except, "Do not ask about room 307, he booked a room at the Grand Velmont the same night. He arrived on a cold October evening. The receptionist gave him room 211 without making eye contact. He had requested the 3rd floor. She told him it was under maintenance and did not blink once while saying it. He took his key and said nothing, but at midnight he took the stairs up to the 3rd floor anyway. The hallway looked normal. Same carpet, same dim lighting, same numbered doors, except the numbers jumped. 305, then 309. Nothing in between, except there was a door. No number. Darker wood than the others. Older handle. And a smell coming from underneath it that he could not name but immediately wanted to get away from. He pressed his ear to the door, breathing, slow and steady, 1 breath every 4 seconds, like something that had been sitting in that room for decades and had learned to be very, very patient. He pressed record on his phone and held it to the door. 30 seconds of breathing, then silence, then 3 knocks from the inside. Hard and deliberate. Then a voice so faint he almost missed it. It said his name. He was back in his room in 40 seconds. He did not remember running. He played the recording back 4 times. The breathing was clear, the knocks were clear, and the voice, unmistakably, his name, said by something that had no way of knowing it. He checked out at 6 a.m. before the city woke up. The receptionist was already at the desk. She looked at him the way people look at someone who has just seen something they cannot explain. "Most guests who visit the 3rd floor do not come back down to check out," she said quietly. He did not respond. He walked out and never wrote a single word about the Grand Villemont. But 6 weeks later, he started hearing it in his apartment. Faint at first, easy to dismiss as pipes or wind or an overworked imagination. But it never stopped. One breath every 4 seconds coming from behind his bedroom wall. And on the nights when the city went completely silent, 3 knocks and his name. He has stopped sleeping with the lights off. He has stopped pressing his ear to walls. And he has stopped telling himself that whatever was breathing inside room 307 stayed there when he left. Because he knows now that it did not. It followed him home.